were, but the experience soon became to a response. It became responding to a challenge each and every time. I only responded twice, but there were other times, there are other challenges, so we're going to talk about that. It was a Greek philosopher that said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. In preparation for today's address, I reflected on those words, and I wanted to take the message even further. I wanted to share beyond what happens to you, beyond the difficulties of the day, beyond the physical challenges that lay ahead. What really is important is your response, and your response is your responsibility. There's some key messages that I hope I'm going to provoke your thought with today about responding to the challenge and the responsibility of your response. And I'm not going to be too long, so you don't have to get nervous. It's a big topic, but it's going to be short. When we are called to do difficult things, how do we respond? So, I was called to run. That's not difficult for me. So it was relatively easy to respond. But quite often in our daily lives, we're called upon to do difficult things. Whether it's work, our family. Sometimes it's just something that as individuals, we find difficult to do, to experience. Ivan Berlin says, life is 10% what you make it and 90% how you take it. So we're often called on to do difficult things. How do we respond? We were all glued to television sets recently, I'm sure, taking in the highs and lows of the Olympics. One incident stuck in my mind. Just after narrowly missing his shot at an Olympic medal, Trinidad and Tobago swimmer George Bovell was approached by the local reporter with what most would consider, severely taste-challenged question. So George, what went wrong? Not congratulations, not you've done your country proud, not wow, you're 7th in the world. George Bovell certainly could have given the reporter a few choice words. We would have all forgiven him for that, yes? But instead he gave a gracious and prepared response, with vociferous defense of him coming from all quarters, and he has remained, I would dare say, an untarnished hero in most of our eyes. Yes, his response was his responsibility. In the circumstances and situations of life, many challenges happen. Whether it's to run up chancellor for the first time, that's the way, for which you're, by the way, unprepared, that was me. Or whether it's your marriage, or a boss from hell, whether he's going to hell or coming from hell. It's a challenge. I suppose many people choose to give up or to give in. But it is said that most of us have far more courage than we ever dreamed we possessed. And I agree. I'm sure some of you would have heard of the surfer Bethany Hamilton. They had a movie about her recently. I think it was on Lifetime, and so some of you may have missed that. But when she was 13, she lost her arm to a shark, and in 6 months with one arm, she was back to surfing and winning, being named ESPN's Comeback Athlete of the Year in 2004. Her story, like so many others, underscored the importance of your response. She could have stayed out of the water feeling pretty sorry for herself. Some of us do that for way less. How would you have responded to a difficulty like that? Your response is your responsibility. Whether it's life's challenges, hardships, outcomes we didn't plan for, how we respond to such impact has such an impact on how we view the entire experience. A good response, sometimes you respond to something and you decide to be cheerful anyway, and then you're like, it wasn't that bad. Or we decide to be really negative about it, and then it just, a bad experience just became so much worse. It's a real difference in our lives between success and failure. In my own company, no plug, no ad, IVL Bank, it's actually 50% owned by JMMB, and that's a really great story. The founder of the Jamaican money market brokers, her name was Joan Duncan. She was 50, a single mother of 5 children. But in spite of what most would consider a challenging life, she had a dream to create a different kind of workplace where work could be fun and the ordinary man could achieve the dream of being a millionaire by starting an investment with just a few dollars. These days, I suppose, I'm in the central bank, so I'll be real careful about quoting any statistics. But suffice it to say, that was her dream back then. When she died at age 58, JMB had a capital base of over $190 million, and that is Jamaican dollars, but it's still great. It's a great testimony, and it speaks to accomplish great things. We must not only act, but we must also dream. We must not only plan, but we must believe. And belief in ourselves is a choice, and it is our response. So how do you respond after initial defeat or failure? That determines what you become after the game, whether you become a winner or a loser. And Paul Ham, another Olympic gymnast, 2004, after a fall, it seemed as if he was out of the medal contention completely. He came back with a perfect routine, winning him the men's all-around gold medal that year. He finished strong. A good example that it's not what happens to you that matters, but it's your response. So in closing, it is my hope that you will consider your response to future challenges. The CariFin Games, in spite of its physical challenges, and it was physically challenging, yes, is such a wonderful opportunity for us as individuals, employees, team members, friends within the local and regional financial sector. We get together in the spirit of fun, fitness, and friendship. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all participants. I'm not going to ask what went wrong. And a special word of congratulations to all the winners. No doubt you too have overcome many challenges. It is my hope that we will all persevere in the face of life's challenges to finish strong in all that we do, with a new understanding that in spite of whatever life has to offer, your response is your responsibility. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Alexander, for such an enlightening and encouraging feature address. Our response will be definitely our responsibility. Thank you. I'll take that with me and use it in more than one occasion to get this, hopefully to get the same message across. We thank you very much. Could we please give her another round of applause?